guys, welcome back to the Honey Pot. My name is Brittany. I am the director of photography and digital media, and today we're going to be talking to Jonetta Kaiser. She is an actress and advocate for mental health and underprivileged youth, and we're getting to talk to her today because she is in the new Vampire Academy series on Peacock. And we're just so honored to get to speak to her about her role, how she gets ready for her roles in acting, different foundations and charities that she's really into and wants to plug. And also, we got to learn about what one movie that she would have loved to be a part of. And we had a good conversation about that. So without further ado, let's get into the interview. Hello, my name is Brittany. I'm the director of photography at the Honey Pot, and today we are with Jonetta. And so for our first question, could you give like a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, of course. My name is Jonetta Kaiser. I'm an actress. I most recently am playing Sonia Karp in the series Vampire Academy on Peacock.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that. So I read the book way back in the day. Did you read the book before you auditioned for the role?
Yeah, I read them back in the
Yeah.
day when I was like 12 or 13.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah. So um when you're we don't talk to very many actresses yet, but when you are going for a role and you've already read the book series prior, like even as a child, does
Mhm.
that help you kind of get ready for the audition process?
Um, I think it just kind of depends on, with an adaptation, it can always be a little different. So with our audition process, and I believe Julie Plec and Marguerite McIntyre spoke about this, who are showrunners. Um, Everything they got greenlit, Peacock greenlit them for a season, straight to series, so they just literally on the plane, I think, to go do location scouting, they were like writing the audition sides and then they just started dishing them out to people. And so I think what they had everyone do, because it was so fast, is everyone auditioned for Rose, and then after getting Rose, I got Sonia Karp, and then I got cast as Sonia. And I think that that's what happened to, I think Mia also read, I think Daniela also read for Rose. So everyone kind of did, and obviously our Rose is the perfect Rose. And so yeah, like it's just kind of the books didn't really have anything to do with the audition process necessarily. Um, but I think for me, when I was out there in Spain and filming, being familiar with what Julie Plec has done before, Vampire Diaries, and then knowing the books and very well and understanding the tone and the genre that we were doing, very important. It really helped me to understand, like, oh, if we're doing something and I just don't understand why we're doing it, and it's like, no, this kind of makes sense for the show. It's probably going to be visited later in like season 2 or something. If it's like, if there seemed to be like an actor doing the actor work and everything like that, and I'm like, wait, but this, but that, wait. It's like, no, don't worry, trust it, trust the process. Julie Plec does this in her shows and things, and she'll like, something will pop up in season 1 and then come full circle in season 2. So yeah, I think that was kind of like the main thing for the audition process. It didn't really matter.
No, that's good. And I like learning about that kind of stuff because
Mhm.
I'm not an actress, but I watch a lot of TV and film, and so it's always fascinating getting to learn about kind of the audition processes, and then like when you're finally on set, like what happens, like other than like you're actually acting it out. But it's like and especially with like book to TV or book to film, sometimes it's like you have so much backstory to it, but then at the same time you're like, well, I'm also coming in as like the character, so I have to embody that and then also put in my own spin on it because that's like what you do. And so
Yeah.
it's really fascinating to learn. I like it. Like
Yeah, it
it's really
is.
cool.
It is.
So we're gonna move off of Vampire Academy and then come back to it because like
Okay.
I'm really excited about it. But so I found out that not only do you act, but you're also involved in STEM and tech. So what is something that you've learned from those industries that you've taken with you into the acting world?
Ah, interesting. Good question. Um, well, to every problem, there is a solution. I mean, God, that's a big one. And I think it's just being patient to figure it out, because especially with like coding, um, the whole process of coding is it's another language. So if you miss a period somewhere, your entire code from that point on is wrong, and then you have to go in and debug. And so I think bringing that over into acting, it's like, okay, well, let's say I'm doing a comedy or something, and the joke just doesn't quite hit. It's like, okay, well, let me figure out how to fix this delivery so that the joke hits. And I think this is just going in and being very, very, very specific. And I love that there's no one way to do it. So in acting, there's so many ways to get more specific. You can go block by block, or you can go sentence by sentence, or you can go word by word. And I think that that's like having the patience to sit there and do that and enjoy it. Um, I guess is the biggest thing, is how like coding can relate to acting. If you could even, I mean, relate the two, is kind of funny. If you try to draw a relation, that's as far as I'm going to go, because I don't want anyone to get upset with me. Software engineers are far beyond what we do in acting.
No, for sure. But there are like, because I went from like retail background and customer service to I'm in marketing and kind of trying to branch into like tech a little bit. I do a little code, not much at all, like software engineer. Oh my gosh, like
Amazing.
I'm I I know how to look at something and know like what it kind of means. And I know
Hmm.
how to usually fix things. Like if it's not closed off, then like it messed up or whatever. So I can kind
Right.
of do that. But like software engineers, like mad respect, because like that's, oh my gosh. And I
It's a
also know how to
lot.
find code that someone already built and put it into what I need it to do. So
Right.
I know that, the very basics, but I like learning or seeing like little things, that skills that you've learned in each industry and then applying it to the next industry that you're in.
Yeah.
I think it's also important because then it's like you're well rounded. It's like, so you might have been in customer service and then you move into tech, but now you know the user. So,
Right.
or you know, similar like stuff. So it's like I've always wondered, like, if you're in tech and you go to acting, I was like, is there any way that that's any correlation at all? Like, because it is kind of opposite, like, industries,
Hmm.
but I think there is some overlap a little bit. Like,
Yeah, and I think like the biggest thing is like my mind. I'm very logical in the way that I think, and very literal. So like if someone tells me like, "Oh, I can fly," and like you tell me that, I'm gonna think that you can fly. Like I'm just
yeah.
like, okay, well, okay, let's figure out how that can maybe be a possibility, and let me go through and like figure that out in my brain. And that's literally how I do everything in life. I'm just very like, okay, yeah, so that step one, step two, step three, step four. And so I think that that's the biggest thing, is like getting that training in code and then going over and doing that in acting as well. It's very, 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 it causes me to be very specific, which I think is helpful, to have
Mhm.
a very specific character, know exactly why I'm doing something or saying something,
Mhm.
makes a difference as to where a message is being like translated on screen.
No, for sure. Because, like, going along those lines, it's like if you know why you're doing it, if you have a different, like, further along in the script, if something happens, like, you know why they reacted that way,
Yeah.
because the character and
Yeah.
inside and out, because you had to learn the character and understand why they're even doing stuff. And then
Yeah.
it's like, oh well, no wonder they reacted this way. Like, because as a viewer, that's how I picture. I'm like, I always try to, like, figure out where they came from, and
Mhm.
then when they react a certain way later on in the series, I'm not always shocked. Sometimes I am, but then I, like, look back and I'm like, no, okay, I get why they did that. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I don't like that they did that, but I understand.
But I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the villains doing the evil things, and it's like, wait, but
Yeah.
this is what happened to them when they were little. Like,
Mhm.
I get it. I'm not that mad at them.
Yeah. It's like, I'm mad at you, but also, like, understand. Like, it's,
Yeah.
you've had a rough life. I get it. Like, but yeah, because even, like, with Game of Thrones, like, the series ending, I wasn't a fan of. Um, that's the nicest way I can say it, is I just was not
I
a
just
fan of that.
cried. I just
Yeah.
sobbed.
But, like, also my whole thing is I can see why each character kind of did what they did. I just didn't like how quick it was,
Yeah.
because it felt very fast and just, like, kind of broken a little bit. But, like, I could understand why certain people did what they did. I get
Mhm.
it. It just
Yeah.
it just didn't come across that way in the series. So that's why it was, like, a huge shock, because you're like, wait, what? Like, why? No.
Yeah. It's
Why'd that
so
happen?
hard what writers do. Like, I respect them so much, because like to just make a whole entire episode from
Mhm.
beginning to end make sense and make it flow, and whether that works out or not, it's like still mad respect, because like it's just a lot of people hated that episode, but it's like in reality it's like, how else would they have done this? Like, you get the script and you fix it then and
Mhm.
see if what you would have done would have been any better. Because it's just like, I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have
Mhm.
ended that show. I wouldn't have wanted to. And so it's almost like they made it to such an abrupt end, because it had to come to an end somehow. And yeah, but and you know what? It's an ending that people are going to talk about forever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whether you hate it or love it, you're still talking about it. So it's like they kind of did their job, I'd say. I
Yeah.
hated the ending too, but but I still talk about it, and it still brings up such like emotion in me, and it's like, okay, very well done then.
Mhm.
Well done.
Yeah, the marketing behind it now, it's like, well, we just marketed for you, because
Yeah.
everyone was talking about how much they disliked it.
Yeah.
So people were like, well, I gotta see what they're talking about. And so then
Hmm.
they watched it. So
Yeah.
it worked. It
And
worked
then
in the
it got a
long run.
whole prequel, so
Yeah. So it's like they went on. So it worked.
it worked.
Um, so kind of straying away from that. So you're a major advocate for mental health, mentoring underprivileged youth, body image positivity, diversity in TV and film. So a lot of things. So we'd love if you could kind of tell us some of the things that you do in those spaces, and then if you have any, like, charities or foundations that you want to plug, that kind of for our viewers to kind of go and check out to make sure that they go and support. We love that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think just my biggest thing is I care about people, and having grown up underprivileged, um, it's something that as I get older and I see younger kids, I'm like, I'll look at a kid, I'm like, wow, I just really hope that they are getting everything that they need, and that's kind of just like the that's the foundation of like everything that I believe in. So now I just go in and like in areas where I feel like I can help and be of assistance and maybe just like relate to. So in LA, there's I don't know if they're still doing it post COVID, but I was doing reading to kids. And you go to like schools areas around LA, the underprivileged schools, and read to the kids. And it's just that simple thing that like I remember when I was in first grade, my teacher would read the Junie B. Jones books and she'd do like the character voice. And it was something that was like the highlight of my day. And it made me look forward to going to school and getting an education. Whereas, like, otherwise, honestly, I hated school. So it was like that's something that sparked something inside of me, and it may have been just like even then the young actor with the characters, like I can't wait to hear her do the Junie B. Jones voice and then like see it like in my mind, the picture in my mind. So I think um if I could do that for other kids, like sparking something like that that just motivates them and gives them hope, um because especially in underprivileged communities that there's a lack of hope, and then you just kind of go throughout your day and it's just like every day is the same and there's no like hope for anything or dreaming outside of kind of like what you see right in front of you. And yeah, so that, and then the A21 campaign is against like human trafficking and modern day slavery. They do such great things. That's a charity that I really support. Yeah, I'm in the midst, well, like everything right now with the show coming out, but I'm working on like finding out an organization to where like I can go in myself and um maybe help underprivileged kids like get into the arts, or just exploring things that they're like, oh, I can do this, oh, I'm a really good painter, or I'm really good at reading, I don't know, like just something that sparks something that gives you a passion. Because I just, again, I remember being underprivileged and feeling like I don't know if like I'm good at anything, because there was just a lack of money to figure out if I'd be good at dancing or if I was good at playing the piano or um, anything like that.
No, I find that so important, and like I wish a lot more people kind of understood that, is that like the youth is like of us, like the world tomorrow. Like we have to help them. And if that's just by volunteering our time to kind of talk to them, like it doesn't have to be monetary value. It just
Right.
has to be, it could be promotion wise, like social media blasts, like charities or foundations that you really like and you see that they're doing good in the world, or just volunteer your time because that's free. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I we're gonna put some foundations and stuff in the description box, and
Amazing.
especially the ones that you talked about, because
Mhm.
I I just think personally it's just so important. Like it's we don't we talk about it, but we don't talk about it enough, I don't think.
Mhm.
Like there's certain things that we talk so much about, which like mental health, obviously, like when I was a child we didn't talk about mental health. So the fact that we're talking about
Oh,
mental health like now is like gives my like childhood heart like hope.
yeah.
And I try to like do that for like my nieces and my nephews and stuff. But like being able to just mentor underprivileged youth and show them that there is hope and that they are talented at something is, I
Mhm.
think, something that's super important.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. Like that's we're very honored that you shared that with us.
Thank you so much.
So going off of like heavier topics, so let's go back to acting. And this one's kind of a fun one. What is one role or film or TV show or anything in that kind of realm that you would love to have been a part of? And it could
Oh,
be like super old, it could be something recent that just released, but anything that you were like, man, like I wish I was just like involved in some way.
oh, I always say The Hunger Games. I was obsessed with those books as a kid. Oh, just would have loved to do that. Um, or you know what? Or even like going like super old. The Cinderella movie with Brandy. Oh my gosh, that looked like it would have been so fun.
I love that movie. Like,
I would have loved to be like a stepsister.
right? Or just like be like in the background, be like, hey guys.
Yeah. Wearing like the gowns and the. I just realized I like just want to be a fairy princess.
Yeah.
I want to sparkle and float around and yeah. Anyways, I'll be a Disney Barbie princess.
No, I mean, I think that's something great to aspire to. Like, I love princesses. I love Disney. I love all that kind of stuff. And so
Mhm.
I remember recently, or like a couple of months ago, that movie particular, the Cinderella one, like it came up onto like Twitter and someone was like, oh my gosh, how did I not know this existed? I was like, how did you not know that existed? Like that was the greatest
Oh,
movie. Like
are you kidding
that
me?
was such a good like Disney movie. Like it's
I
something that I had it on repeat for a while. Like it was just good. I
yeah,
don't
it was so good.
And I think like the
So
younger
well done.
generation, it was just like, oh my gosh, how did we not know? I was like, how did you not know? Like someone did not teach you, they failed you. like, like that was a good movie. But
It's
yeah,
just every generation has like the one like iconic film who's like, how do you not know about that?
yeah,
That's one of the ones for millennials that are like, excuse me, Gen Z, you need to watch this
yeah.
movie.
Be like, I watched this so much growing up. I need you to like get on it. Like, come on,
Yeah.
let's go. Take you under my wing. I'll show you the movie and then let's go.
Yeah.
But I love that you mentioned that movie because people do not talk about that movie enough. Like that was, oh my gosh,
So good.
it was
It
one of
was
my top.
so
Like I don't, oh, so good.
good. Yeah.
Um, okay, so, um,
I love that poster you have behind me. Is that the Lizzie McGuire movie?
oh yeah, it's a vinyl. It's the soundtrack.
I love that
Can you
movie.
tell I've been listening to it? Like,
Yeah. Oh my
oh
gosh, like honestly, doing a movie like that too would be so cool.
no,
Going to
that because
Italy and
that was like the
Pablo.
early
Paolo?
2000s. Hmm?
Is Paolo? Sing to me,
Yes,
Paolo.
Sing to Me, Paolo. Yeah. But that was like the genre of that time. And it just like
Mhm.
we got so many good movies.
So many.
Like even ones that a lot of people don't really talk about is the Lindsay Lohan one, The Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen.
I've been seeing this, it's trending on TikTok right now.
Yes.
People are like with Megan Fox, who I love her. And like just it's so good. Those movies are so good.
They
And you
are.
can watch them on repeat. You can watch them today and be like, oh my God, wait. I
No,
love
for
this. I was
sure. Like one of
obsessed.
my fondest memories of childhood is when my mom would take me to my grandma's house and I had like three movies I watched every single time I visited her because my mom for some reason didn't buy them for me. So like I could only watch them at my grandma's house and it was Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, Lizzie McGuire movie and Raise Your Voice. Those
Oh
just
my
those three like I would watch them on repeat. And so it's like
God.
one of
Okay.
those memories I have like going to grandma's house and I could finally watch those movies again.
Yes.
Like I don't know why my mom didn't buy them. Like she might have been like, well, your grandma has them, so it's
Yeah, she'll watch them on VHS
yeah.
over
Yeah.
there.
But yeah, no, those types of movies are just something that like I'll put on as an adult and it's just like nostalgic, but also
Yeah,
they are really good movies.
they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. They're very well done.
Yeah.
Very like just the story as a
Mhm.
whole. So good.
Yeah. But I think me personally, if I could be an actress and actually do a good job, it would be in one of those movies.
Yes.
Just because like those are just iconic. Like
Yeah, they are.
same with Mean Girls. There's like just that
Oh my
genre
God.
of stuff that like never leaves society, like pop culture society. And those are some of them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like now part of like American history.
Yes. I'm like, I will be your professor and teach you everything about this iconic time.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so staying with acting because we're super excited. So I like learning about actors and how they get into the characters because it
Mhm.
is a lot of times it's different than who you are. Um, do you have anything specific that you like to do to help you get into a role?
Um, yeah, I think specifically for film, I think it's just having the communication with the director, the writer, understanding exactly what the story we're telling here is for film, because you know the beginning and the end. That's so important for your character and the development, and knowing where you are in the story, the ups and downs, and all of that. In TV, you don't know the end. So, and a lot of the times, like especially for Vampire Academy, we got the scripts like week to week. Like we weren't given all of the scripts at once, and so you kind of just have to go with what's on the page. So when you and some people like instinctively, I think I'm more of like an instinct actor, to where like I can read something and kind of know who the character is right away, but then I go in and try to get more specific with it. So it's just kind of going in and like understanding the relationships to every character that's in the show. What do I think of those characters, even if I don't have scenes with them? And I think it's just those like small specific things. When I'm in a room, how do I sit or stand? Or when I'm not around anyone, what do I do? And with my character, I got to show a lot of that, because when no one's around, she's talking to birds. So it's like, and she's like very comfortable in her space, in her library or in her garden. But when she's around other people, she's a lot more like and silent and to herself, and just kind of observing everyone, and not really showing what she thinks of who X, Y, and Z, just that sort of thing. So yeah, I think that was really that's really, for me, that's kind of with character development. And I hope to get a character one day that absolutely scares the crap out of me before getting it and tackling it. And because it would be something that's so different from myself, that I would really have to go in and do the character work and do the actor work that I absolutely love.
No, I just find that fascinating because like you are trying to become someone completely different usually, or sometimes there are like little things that you can kind of hone in on that are similar to yourself.
Yeah.
But then it's like some of those other like just characters, it's like, how is that not terrifying? Like I personally, I mean, I'm not an actress, but like I would be terrified because I'm like, how do you act like that? Like that's so out of my depth. So it always like when I see someone, either if it's like a villain or just like someone who I know, like the actor I know of, and I know that they probably wouldn't act like that because I don't know them personally, but like I'm like, I don't think you would do that. Like so it's always kind of fascinating to kind of get into like the actual development of a character and figuring out like how do you even do that? Like
Yeah.
how mentally I talked to someone previously and they said that they make playlists for every single character
Oh
that
yeah.
they
Yeah,
act.
I'll do that sometimes. I did that. I'll do that time to time. I don't do it with every character, but when I was in Spain, there was like a set of songs. I think I just didn't realize I was making a Sonia Cart playlist, but
Mhm.
like there were a set of songs that I would just listen to as I like got ready to go to set, and was just like singing along in my apartment in Spain, and like I don't know. So yeah, I think, and it was the same songs that I listened to for 7 months. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I unintentionally did. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's cool because I think music just helps you kind of get in the mood and
Yeah.
being able to create some type of playlist to be like, this is what the character is going to listen to,
Hmm.
or to get them pumped, or just to get in that mindset,
Yeah.
I think it's really great because you're mixing kind of two worlds into one and utilizing
Right.
like music that you personally might have like in your own day-to-day life, you listen to music to get pumped up or you're getting ready, and then you kind of do the same thing for your character. So
Exactly.
it's really cool. I like
Exactly.
that. So,
I actually have a phone interview at 10:30.
okay. Yeah. So last question.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to plug for us to either I mean, we're gonna have all your socials down below, but is there anything else that you kind of want to like you need to go look at?
Well, we have episode 5, Vampire Academy, coming out tomorrow. I don't know when this interview will air.
Probably in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, so Thursdays on Peacock is our show, and yeah, just keep watching it. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. I'm trying to do TikTok. I'm trying. But yeah, that's it. No plugs really.
Awesome. And that was our interview with Jonetta Kaiser. We are so honored that we got to speak to her about her role in Vampire Academy. It is out every Thursday on NBC's Peacock. And we're so honored that we got to chat to her about some of the foundations and charities that she likes to be involved in, and some of the different things that we find that we're really passionate about. And we also got to talk to her about her venture into STEM and tech and how that applies to her acting today. And we are just so honored that we got to speak to her, and we will have all of her links down below and all of our links as well. So make sure to follow us to keep along with new interviews that we're doing and all of pop culture, everything. And then also definitely join our Discord. We are always in there talking about all things pop culture, music, TV, film, everything. And we're also getting into gaming, so definitely head over there and talk to everyone at the Honey Pop. And thank you so much for watching.